you doing? My name is Damel Di'Yari.
My name is Robert McLemore.
Hi, my name is Marcus Smith.
My name is Kareem Donaldson.
Hi, my name is Frank Schultzbrand. Franklin Anthony Schultzbrand, as a matter of fact.
I'm an artist, chef, cultural influencer.
I'm the owner of Blue Green Lawns, which we service Dutchess County.
I'm a welder down in Cromalloy, New York. I've been there for about 30 plus years.
I'm a lieutenant with the town of Walk Hill Police Department. I'm also a senior advisor to the city of Newburgh Police Department. I'm a pastor. I've been doing that for 3 years.
I'm a school counselor within the Newburgh and Lawrence City School District, and I manage alumni affairs with the Eagle Academy Foundation.
Been a father for about 8 years now.
I've been a father for the past 9 years.
For 21 years. 21 years.
I've been a father for about 40 plus years.
My sweetest memory of fatherhood was 2012 when Winter was first born. I was in my last semester of graduate school, and it was the best feeling in the world.
Sweetest memory of my fatherhood is seeing my daughter being born.
When Brittany was born. Brittany, I was there for, I wasn't there for my oldest one, but I was there for Brittany. And to have her mother say, she's a little girl, and her mother thought that I would be disappointed, but she never really knew how happy I was. So yeah, Brittany.
My journey, I had a long journey. I mean, I guess it started as I remember I really loved sports, you know, like a lot of other people. I wanted to be a collegiate athlete. One time I went to a top 100 camp and I looked around and I seen the competition. At that moment I knew, like, I don't have a passion for this like these other kids. So from there, I just thought about what my passion was, and for some reason I knew it was like business. I always would like hustle. Like my mom or my aunts would make Kool-Aid. I would go empty all the Poland Spring water bottles out my house, fill up the Kool-Aid, fill up the bottles with the Kool-Aid, go to school, sell them to everybody, make money. I was always doing little things like that, selling candy, selling whatever I can get my hands on. So, you know, I really just went full steam ahead with just the whole business aspect. So I just tried to make parties. I just sell clothes, which transitioned into me opening up recording studios. I had a clothing store. You know, I did everything under the sun. Art galleries, but I would always have little bumps in the road, you know, as I would start my businesses. You know, unfortunately I was shot inside of one of my businesses. I had another unfortunate incident, another business, and these were like real setbacks at the time, but it taught me resilience because I had to bounce back every time. You know, there was nobody around, there was no help that came, it was always just me, you know, like people were there when the accolades were coming in, the newspaper clippings were good, you have all these friends around, but when trouble happens, that's when you find out what entrepreneurism really is about, you know? You are the risk taker. That just transitioned from one thing to the next. I just never gave up, you know? And it just blossomed, you know? And yeah, now we're here.
This episode of Black Fathers is sponsored by Shop My Basics, an all-natural deodorant. It is the gold standard for personal care by sourcing natural plant-based ingredients to create healthy and effective products delivered in elegant packaging. Shop yours today.
The greatest thing I learned from my mother has been having a strong work ethic. So my mother has worked in the hospital for her entire career, and I've always saw how hard she worked, and she always made time to ensure that things at home were taken care of, and we felt the love and support that we needed as children.
The greatest thing I've learned from my father and mother, which both of them were very instrumental, especially my father, is always be a listener. And then, you know, help them to grow into what they want to become in life.
The greatest thing that I learned from my father was to be a better father. I can say that. To do things differently than he did. Not that he was a terrible father, but certain things that my father did with me, I never did with my children. So that's the greatest thing I've learned.
The greatest thing I learned from my father was to show up. My father never was around. He's still never around. I had talks and conversations in the past with him before, but I'm still trying to rekindle like that type of relationship. So when my son was born, I understood at that very moment what my father must have been through, or just hearing the news. And it took me about like 5 or 10 minutes to realize that that's not the man I wanted to be.
People might feel a certain way about this, but I let my son curse in my house, you know, as long as it's within reason. So you might come to my house, you know, my son, he might curse, like, oh, holy shit, or whatever. Like, I let him curse. I would never like to contain him and say, no, don't do that, no, don't do this. I just explain to him what it is. And I believe that that gives them a certain trust and a certain level of confidence to be who they really are or who they want to be, you know? And I sort of just sit back and analyze what he's doing, what he likes to spend his time on, and I sort of guide him in that direction. You know, there are certain things that I sort of push on him, like martial arts. I pushed that on him. He had to complete his black belt, and it wasn't so much to become a top martial artist, but it was just so he learns task completion. You start something, you finish it. So as far as him following his passions and goals, I just sit back and watch him, see where you know he's spending most of his time, and I try to just push him to be great. That's it. That's all I do, is push him to be great.
The three characteristics that I primarily possess as a father would be resilience, patience, and leadership.
Protective, loving, and I'm always an ear, a listener.
Understanding. I am kind, and I would like to think of myself as fun.
Leadership, understanding, inspiration.
This episode of Black Fathers is sponsored by Shop My Basics, an all-natural deodorant. It is the gold standard for personal care by sourcing natural plant-based ingredients to create healthy and effective products delivered in elegant packaging. Shop yours today.
My ultimate passion, I don't know, it switches all the time. Like right now, is being a culinarian. A couple years ago, my ultimate passion was being a musician. Now I feel like I'm slowly transitioning into the educational information space. You know, I just go with the flow. You know, I don't live by rules or boundaries. Wherever the wind takes me. So my passion really is just to live my life to the fullest and be happy.
The best advice that I could give to a young father, especially a black one, is simply be a father. Be involved in your kid's life. Sacrifice. Coach those basketball teams. Go to those karate lessons. Go to those dance recitals. So that one of the greatest things that I can say about myself as it pertains to me, and I look back on it, is I didn't miss anything. That I was there. That if I wasn't there, something had to really be big in order for me not to be there. Be there for your kids. You can buy them clothes, you can buy them sneakers, you can buy them material things, but at the end of the day, the thing that's really going to resonate is, were you there for them?
One thing I would tell a new young black father is that you have one opportunity to provide your child with an amazing life. Regardless of your childhood experiences, I want you to make a commitment to yourself, make a commitment to your child that you are going to go above and beyond to support their success. I want you to make sure that you're willing to stay up late to help them with their homework assignments, to relearn, right, concepts or skills that you may not have remembered or may not have learned as a kid. You know, much of the curriculum may be very different, but take that time and effort to do that. Try to make sure your kids are involved in extracurricular activities to promote them being well-rounded, versatile, and just being that champion, that coach, that cheerleader in their corner is so important for them. It means the world to them, and it's something that they'll never forget. So regardless of how we get portrayed in the media, right, the stereotypes that exist, right, you have the power to shift that narrative. And the more of us that shift that narrative, right, the higher the probability that the narrative will change.
Be patient. Be patient with your children. As they are growing, you grow as well. As they are learning, you're learning as well. I've often thought about how many books that are out there on parenting, but your experience sometimes is the teacher. You can get the head knowledge of how to, or the intellect of how to do certain things, but your experience is what's going to teach you.
The 3 things I would definitely advise any young black man, or any man at all, if you're having a child, definitely get your finances in order, definitely understand, love, and talk to your mate. Find out if this is real, can you build on this, and what you guys want to do together as a couple. And 3, make sure you have a plan. Put your plan together, write it down tonight, tomorrow. You write it down every day until that baby is born. Know that plan, memorize that plan, and make sure you do your best to execute.
The greatest lesson my dad taught me was to just keep going.
Dealing with the stigma of black fathers not being present and being absent, those are things that I find to be frustrating because I know so many amazing black fathers.
One of the hardest things about being a father mentally or emotionally is making sure my children are sound.
You try to negate that as soon as possible, almost like a cancer. You know, you want to cut those things out that you see that bothered you or that hindered you in your life.